Hello, everybody. Good evening. How do you do? Welcome, everybody. How do you do? What's up? Yeah, I'm over here in our home. I just came from work like like maybe half hour ago, like an hour ago around there. Like working on Sundays is crazy. I never in my entire life, I never worked on a Sunday. Never. That's what happened when you work for retail. Now, if you work for a professional job like a mailroom, maintenance, I don't know, but if you work like an office environment, it's from Monday to Friday, unless, of course, they try to come in Sunday or Saturday, mainly Saturday. But when you work for retail store like Staples, all these burger joints and AutoZone, all that kind of stuff, they put you in different hours, different time, and they give you Saturday off. Some you gotta work Saturday. They give you Sunday off. You gotta work next Sunday. In other words, in these kinds of jobs, it's very difficult to make appointment with anybody else outside your job. In other words, you gotta know, you gotta have heads up, like maybe 2 weeks in advance before you could take a day off a week, 2 weeks in advance. It's not easy. It's not easy because I deal with people that they sing, they are singers, and sometimes they call me and they need my help to assist, and sometimes they do it on a Sunday, so I'm stuck. So anyway, coming back, um, I told you that in episode number 6, which we're going now into episode number 6, season 1. I don't know, maybe I don't know how far I'm going to take this, but how many episodes, I don't know. But I'm going to cover as much as possible to give you an understanding so you could have an idea where to go, where not to go, and what restaurants to avoid and where to go. Because let me tell you the honest truth, like I was saying in episode 4 and 3, that not all restaurants are created equal. They're not invented or created, or they're not, when they first open up, they're not perfect. And we got to understand that. We have to understand that not all the restaurants are perfect. They can never and will never be perfect. There's going to be issues. There's going to be drama. There's going to be misunderstanding. There's going to be they mess up the cooking. Maybe one of the waiters had a bad day that day, and they took it on you, unintentionally. And there's a lot of stuff that goes with a restaurant, and we as visitors that go there to eat, we have to exercise sometimes a lot of patience, because I seen people go to restaurants and they lose it. They lose it. They just they go freaking crazy, and they start cursing and acting stupid, doing having a drama show. You know what I mean? And you don't do that. You don't do that. I mean, if it goes wrong, goes wrong, but fix it and talk and you go to talk to the manager and go somewhere else and start making a scene, man. And sometimes, let's say there's 100 numbers, maybe 1 out of 100, maybe you could do a little screaming and get them to do their job. That's understandable. There are places where I have gone and they have me waiting for an hour. And it turns out that these people have a problem with Spanish people. They have problems with black people. I don't know why these people are still having this freaking stupid mentality until this freaking day, since God knows when, in the 50s. Jesus, we are almost 50 years with this BS. And people haven't learned how to love your neighbor as yourself, according to what the Bible says. So we got to understand, you know the deal. Anyway, I promised you that yesterday, I promised you this morning, I think it was this morning, or some way I promised that I was going to give you the names of the restaurants where you could go. They're not here. They're not in Union City. I mean, they're not in Texas. They are mainly in Phoenix, Layton, Utah, Moab, Utah, Bernal, Utah, Uniontown County, no, something else. Malina, Utah, and also Miami or Hialeah. Then there's another one, it's called Para Ti Colombia Con Sabor in Jamaica, Queens. Okay, I'm going to give you the names of these restaurants right now. We're going to start with the Colombian. Here it is. Para Ti Colombia Con Sabor. For you, Colombia with flavor. I don't know if that's the actual name, but I know that when I get the bill, it says another name. I forgot what it was. But they are located in 172-35 Hillside Avenue, Jamaica, Queens, or New York. This is a Colombian restaurant. Over here, I fully recommend that you should go here. I mean, there's no parking in the area. There is parking, but you got to be careful. You got to watch the signs. You got to watch the parking signs and be careful where you park. And just, if it's lucky, it's lucky. If not, you're going to have to keep driving until you find a parking. But the food is good. The beans, remember I told you about the beans in episode, I think, 1 or 2? I mentioned Colombian beans. These are delicious, delicious beans that they have in this place, and especially the rice with chicken. Now, I went to one Colombian restaurant in New Jersey, in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and they really messed it up there. It was the same restaurant. I'm talking about another restaurant, but it's Colombian. It's called La Brisas de Colombia, the Colombian Breeze. And they've been opening up restaurants left and right because their food is good. Their food is good. I recommend them. But there was one particular restaurant that I went that they messed it up. Instead of the shredded chicken, the rotisserie chicken is supposed to be rotisserie chicken shredded into the rice, mixed with all that stuff. That's how it tastes delicious. But in this case, they put chicken nuggets. Like, what the hell? What do you mean chicken nuggets? I could have gone to freaking McDonald's if I want nuggets. Anyway, they screwed up. Anyway, but mainly the actual plate of a chicken with a rice with chicken, arroz con pollo, is shredded rotisserie chicken, because rotisserie chicken, it is marinated in such a way that it has a lot of flavor. So they take it and they put it and they incorporate it into the rice, so it becomes very delicious with the beans. Oh my God, forget it. And then they give you a piece of ripe plantain to accompany with it, and it's the bomb. It's delicious. Try that. And also try la sopa de cola, the tail soup, which is oxtail, and they make it freaking delicious. You gotta try it. They put cilantro and everything. And you can also order it with tostones. Tostones is the big banana, the big plantain, the big one. You got the small one, you got the big one. Okay, they cut it up and they fry it and they squash it and it's like this, like 3 inches long, whatever, and it's very toasty with garlic and everything. Order that soup with that, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. And also they make mondongo, which is very delicious. Mondongo is tripe soup. It's very delicious the way the Colombians make it. But you got to catch them at the right time, or you're gonna miss it, or you're not gonna you're not going to be able to. I miss it every time. Every time. No, not that one. The oxtail soup. Sometimes I miss it and it's finished. Sometimes in mondongo too, but they make it in different days. So be careful with that. Now the next restaurant is, let me get my super glasses, my Batman glasses. Escobal. This is in Kanab, Utah. Delicious. I tried their beef stew. It was very delicious. Homey place, a lot of family people there and everything. Real nice waiters, nice people. They treated me real nice. Immediately they found me a seat. It was crowded, but they gave me a seat, or in a little corner somewhere. Thank God for them. They're in Utah. That's when I was coming to Utah. Almost right after that, I entered Vegas like 3-4 hours later. Okay, and then we got the Moab Diner. It's in Moab, Utah. They got delicious breakfast, and the coffee is delicious. We got Miguel's Baja Grill in Moab, Utah. You got to try their food. It's very delicious. I was there a while back. And then you got, this is the one that I was going to mention to you guys, and it's called 7-Eleven Ranch Restaurant, Bernal, Utah. Bernal, Utah, Vernal, Bernal, Utah. If you happen to go there, that's the area of the dinosaur land. That's where they found a lot of dinosaurs. They found a lot of footprints. They found a whole bunch of stuff. And they also got a museum where you could see all the animals that got stuck during the flood of Noah. And it's amazing. You should go to this restaurant. They have the best biscuit with the biscuits, what they call it? The sauce. You know, what they call it? Cream sauce? They call it, it's not gravy. Yes. The biscuit gravy. Freaking delicious. I met the lady. She's 80 years old, and she's the original cook, and she makes it freaking delicious. You got to go to that restaurant and eat the breakfast with the bacon, the scrambled egg. They're going to give you those biscuits with the smoother, with that freaking gravy. You're going to freaking love it. Okay. And then you got, I went to one, let's go to this one. I forgot what the heck I wrote over here. There's one in Blessing Restaurant and Motel, Malina, Utah. That's another restaurant. It's real good. I forgot the address. But La Carreta, Miami. La Carreta in Miami. You got to try La Carreta in Miami. They are located in Hialeah. You got to look it up. Carreta. Carreta is Carreta. La Carreta. It means the cart. You know when you put things on the cart when you buy? It's La Carreta. You got to try El Picadillo Cubano. That's ground meat. And the way they make it, they add raisins and they add their seasoning that is freaking delicious with the white rice and the black beans. You gotta freaking try it with the ripe bananas, ripe plantains, sorry. And then we got Rico. It's another restaurant. It's in 45-23 Greenpoint Avenue in Sunnyside, New York. That's in Queens. That's across the street from Manhattan. They got the best seafood there, and they give you complimentary glass of wine. Delicious, beautiful people. You're gonna love them. Now, okay, I got that one. These are the few restaurants. I even got more. I'm gonna keep mentioning more in episode 7. And these are the best restaurants I've been so far around the country because I travel a lot. I used to, not anymore because I lost my car. I lost my Ford Fusion 2014 Hybrid SE. I went to Vegas and I was doing Uber Connect, and I don't know what the hell happened. I made a wrong freaking turn. I made the right turn, but I didn't have time to do what I gotta do, and they hit me on the side. And thank God I survived. Nothing happened to me. Everything is fine. MRI came out perfect and everything. I survived. Everything is so settled. Everything, thank God. And man, I lost my car. I wish I had my car. I wish I had my Ford Fusion Hybrid SE 2014. I love that car. I sleep in that car. I travel in that car. That was my traveling car after I retired in 2017. Anyway, I'm not asking somebody to have pity on me and give me a few. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, thank God. Anyway, but there's a restaurant that I'm gonna show you that really, 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 they are. I felt racism, but mainly I felt like, what you call that freaking word? Oh my God. You know that word that they pick on you? They sort of like, hey, this is a Spanish guy, be careful. You know, treat him like this. I went there with a lady, with a Colombian lady. I went there. I went all the way from because I was in New York at that time. So she was in the hotel, and she invited me to go eat. So I went to meet her over there, and we went to this restaurant. It was during the day. It was 95 degrees and 90 or 95, and we went to the Rusty Nail. The Rusty Nail. It's two of them there. There's two in combined. There's one inside, one outside. It's called the Rusty Nail. It's in over there in Cape May. In Cape May, in South Jersey. You know, at the very end. And I noticed this place that there were chairs all over the freaking place. And I said, listen, we just came from down there, and we came from the casino, you know, and we want to eat something. And she said, oh, no, you cannot sit there. And I said, yeah, but there's seats there. I said, no, you cannot sit there. I said, but there's somebody sitting over there. I said, no, that's special. You got to sit over there. Okay. So we went towards the left, and they had a fire pit. Look at this. They had a fire pit. And I said, what the hell? Freaking 90 degrees and you got a fire pit? Anyway, they wanted me and the lady to sit by the fire. And I said, what the hell are you doing putting a fire pit, and it's 90 degrees outside, we're in the freaking beach, and it's a summer, and you have a fire pit? Anyway, it turns out that my food was a disaster. They made the food fall on my lap and her lap. And then the guy that was serving me, that was there serving people liquor, whatever, he was a very funny guy, a very stupid, idiotic, funny guy. I'm not a violent person, but I wish I could just throw him the burger in his face. Anyway, the guy, I asked him for a fork, and you know what he did? He gave me a fork, bended like an ass. I looked at it, I went like this. It was like this, like this, like an ass. And I told him, I screamed, I said, yo, what is your freaking problem? what is this, joke? So he went to turn around and give me another fork. And I tell you, I felt a tension there of racism. I tell you, I did. So be careful with that place. If you're black, Puerto Rican, whatever, be careful with it when you go there. Don't even go there. Go somewhere else. I'm telling you, go somewhere else. I don't care. Don't go there. I already gave them a real bad review on Google, and I happen to be the top of the line reviewer on Google, and the top photographer on Google, and also the best in Google, and that's it. And I don't mince words when I give my reviews. I'll tell you the truth to your face. I'll write down everything I see in that place. And I don't cut corners. And I don't care. That's the way I am. When I give my reviews, I do it as honest as possible. I do what is called constructive criticism, and I love it. And I love to do it. People criticize me, so why I criticize anybody else? Anyway, those are the few restaurants that I gave you. But then Utah, Jamaica, Queens, and they're over there and I'm there. And like I said, if you ever retire and you get a car, buy yourself a brand new car. Don't buy a used car. Buy yourself a brand new car. And just travel. Travel west. Go to Sedona. Go to Arizona. Go everywhere. And just enjoy yourself, man. Oh, and let me share another place before I leave. I just remember there's a restaurant in Phoenix. Wait a second. Phoenix. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. It's called Matt's Eats. Matt's, M-A-T-T-S, Eats. Eating. In Phoenix, downtown. It's on 817 North 1st Street. This place, let me finish with this restaurant. I left it for last for a reason. My friend, there's a line. You gotta wait outside. You gotta sit down. They give you they got two different kind of waters. One with lemon, one with I don't know whatever, and you can serve yourself free. And they call you. It takes like half an hour or less. But the food is homemade. They use people nearby, like butchers, and they make their own strawberry jam. They make everything. And the bacons are a quarter thick. And they are delicious. And the potatoes, they serve them with rosemary on the side. And the eggs and the coffee is immaculate. The coffee is delicious. You're going to love this coffee. You're going to love this place. You're going to love the breakfast. They got different kind of breakfast there. They got pancakes or whatever. But you got to go. If you're ever in downtown Phoenix and you're staying in a hotel, whatever, or family, go there on a Saturday morning or Friday morning during the week or Sunday, whatever. Sunday, I'm not sure they open. You got to find out. But it is the best. They even open one in the airport, but it's in the inside. You got to pay a fare to get in there. Anyway, so try it, please. When you go to Phoenix, go to this restaurant. You're going to love it. Okay, and tomorrow in episode 7, I'm going to give you more restaurants that you can search out for yourself. And when you're traveling, you can thank me for giving you that heads up, so you would not be disappointed. You understand? So I can remember, not all restaurants are perfect. So don't expect perfection 100%. The things are going to happen. Something's going to go wrong, whatever. But just take it easy, relax, compose yourself, whatever. And just relax, okay? God bless you, everybody. I hope you enjoy my video.